people before profit, the communist Marxist leaders are back at it again. So today we have Ruth Coppinger, and of course, you know, the the white Malteser himself, Paul Murphy, refusing to answer questions from Ben Scallon and Gript Media. Now, this one obviously is blown up because we have a couple of other journalists here, you know, from the Irish Times, I believe, and they're actually defending Ben Scallon and his right to ask questions because, of course, Ben Scallon is a member of the press. We're going to listen in. This is going to be a quick one, but I'll give my thoughts at the end, what I think about this, because this is the true leadership of people before profit, which is anything but, guys. They pretend like they're an altruistic, you know, politician group, or, you know, they're all altruistic group of people, but they're not. They just hate the people, and they just want to limit your free speech, okay? So that's what they do.
This morning, Justice Minister Jim O'Callaghan was saying that he reaffirmed the government's previous position of wanting to speed up deportations of failed asylum seekers who have not met the threshold after an examination. I'm wondering if you have any reaction to that remark by the Minister?
Not for Gript, you know.
Sorry, what?
Not for Gript, I don't know.
That's not really fair. He's a member of the press. If he's asking you a question,
I'm just saying I don't answer questions.
the press freedom in this country, and he's a member of the press. He's a member of the press council. They're asking you a question.
Really?
That's not very fair.
Really? Yeah, a lot of things in Gript aren't very fair, and I don't think he needs you to stick up for him.
Well, I would hope that if the roles were reversed, someone would stick up for me. I don't think that's fair.
Aye.
You got a question, Jack? I might put a pin in that, actually. I mean, if you guys aren't willing to take questions, then maybe we can put them.
Yeah, I think we're done.
Right. Thanks a lot.
I love that.
Okay.
Like, look at the scowl on the both of them before they answer their question. Like, look at the scowl on this lady. She's so flippin' morose. It's just, like, depressing. This party is a failing party, and they need to get the hell out of the flippin' doll. It's crazy. I love that, guys. So you can see now, you know, not only is the press getting hate, okay, from these left lunatics, okay, not only is that happening, you can also see now that they are refusing to answer questions, and they're basically turning into the same thing that they hate. You know, they always made fun of when Donald Trump wouldn't answer questions from CNN. He would call it fake news media, because a lot of the news media outlets, let's be honest, guys, I mean, even the Irish Times, what was it, the Irish Mirror that was standing up from the Irish Mirror, you know, shout out to them, guys. You know, a lot of these other mainstream news, the Irish Times journalists, you know, these mainstream news outlets in Ireland, you know, they're like 99%, you know, bought and paid for. You know, they'd sell the Irish public down the river. You know, they're just an arm of the government. They're just a mouthpiece for the government. But, you know, big shout out and congratulations to the women and the man that stood up for them. You know, so we can't hate on the Irish Mirror or the Irish Times too much anymore, because it seems like they have some sort of integrity. You know, and like I said before, this is the issue, guys. You know, when Gript Media are becoming the biggest, you know, we see tons of people now on the conservative movement, my channel as well, getting many views. Many people are loving these videos. We now have the power. We're now starting to get the power. The hate starts coming. When they were on top, because people before profit were probably on top for the last 8 years, let's be honest, or at least the last 4 years. But now that overturned window, that whole landscape, you know, because Trump got elected, has started to shift now to the right, or should I say, shift to the right, okay, from these sort of woke, liberal, left-wing, Marxist, DEI people. It's now gone way more conservative. People want to see a more Christian, conservative message, okay? They want to see a more, you know, straight edge message. No more bullshit. And people before profit, they can't handle it, guys. You know, these sort of left-wing groups, these sort of left-wing, I would call them left-wing Nazis, guys, honestly. They can't handle that the public wants to see a more fair and balanced debate. Okay, it's not even that the right are getting bigger. They absolutely are. You guys see, like, all the people commenting on the various channels on YouTube. It's massive on YouTube. On Instagram, people are taking over with the more right-leaning content. But it's not even just that the content is taking over. There is way more support for, you know, the different parties, the different independent people that are leaning on the right, because we've seen now the crazy woke shit that people don't like. You know, foreign people that come to the country just get a house straight away, and the people that have passports that have lived here their whole lives, they don't get preferential treatment. I mean, that is the devil. People like Paul Murphy, Leo Varadkar, these people are the devil, guys. I mean, they are evil people, man. They don't want what's best for the country. They want to ruin the country. This guy has a flag in his bio for no apparent reason. I mean, is he that, or does he support that? We don't really know. He doesn't even know what a man or a woman is. He won't name his baby a certain gender. I mean, the whole landscape has just gone completely shit show arseways. Now they're being shown up. Other journalists are standing up for this message, you know, which is crazy. This is the first time in history, just to let you guys know how much of a landslide this is. This is the first time in history that any other journalists have actually stood up for a more right, more conservative-leaning newspaper. Okay, because that's what Gript is. Okay, it's more conservative. They want to hear a more open, non-biased message. Forget about the conservative aspect. A lot of these newspapers, RTE, News Talk, Virgin Media, Joe.ie, they're all run by the same people, you know, the same, you know, conglomerate up top, giving the message down to the people. People like Gript Media finally giving this sort of open and fair message. They're giving a non-biased, no bullshit, just looking for the facts message. And people love that. You know, the people will see, and the cream will rise to the top, guys. The best will rise to the top. I've said it. I think Gript Media, they're going to be the biggest platform in the whole country. Their views, their takes are fair. Everything is getting massive amount of response. And it's amazing to see. You know, if you can't support journalism and fair debate in this country, what's the point of even having debate? They don't want passports. They want open borders. They want this crazy shit. They want a communistic, you know, Lenin, Stalin type of shit, guys. They want a crazy country, and that just doesn't work in a Western democracy. You know, they are free to go to North Korea. They are free to go to Cuba. They are free to go to Russia. You know, we don't want these societies in Ireland, guys. And the people of Ireland, beautifully, including me, I'm throwing me, we've all woken up now. No more to the woke nonsense, because we can see now that the whole of Europe is starting to lean more conservative, more right. You know, all the elected leaders in Germany, Italy, all these different countries are getting elected again. You know, people are pissed off, guys. There's not much money. You know, again, there's like open borders, people coming in, getting things. There's homeless people. There's not enough houses for the youth. There's mass emigration from Ireland to going to Australia, going to Canada. The country, it seems like, is on its knees, you know, and it seems like that sort of spirit of Trump and that kind of thing has come over. Conor McGregor leading the charge, of course. And people, you know, are starting to wake up and starting to get more pissed off and saying, wait a second, you know, let's confront these journalists. And, you know, he had a fair question. The question was fair. He asked something like, what was the government's previous position of wanting to speed up deportations of failed asylum seekers? Like, if you're a failed asylum seeker, you should be deported within flipping 20 minutes. Forget about 2 weeks. Like, there was some Indian guy that got a flipping assault charge trying to kidnap a 6-year-old. He got a 2-week deportation charge. Like, that's bullshit. That guy should be on the first flight. He should leave the courtroom in handcuffs like they do in other countries and straight to the airport and get that asshole on a flipping flight out of here. You know, if you commit crimes, brutal crimes, kidnapping, extortion, murder, you should be either put in jail for 100 years or flipping, deported. Like, without question. And I know people are like sensitive to not say that. Like, guys, holy hell, like, I don't understand how people cannot see that. You know, people on the left as well, like, you guys gotta be fair. The left and the liberal people were never fair to me, you know, a lot of the times. My liberal friends that I know in person, very fair people. They admit when it's wrong, they admit when it's bullshit. But now we're seeing the leaders in charge not admitting when they're wrong, not admitting when they've made mistakes, not admitting when they should be admitting that they're wrong. And that's wrong. I love you guys all. Like, comment, subscribe. If you guys want me to push back against the mainstream media, make sure to hit the join link underneath the video. Become a member today. I think it's only €3-5 a month. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one, man. Peace.